Ahoy, shipmates, and welcome aboard another adventure upon the seas of the internet with me, the ASMR pirate. Now guys, I'm working on some of the comments that you've left me, some of the requests for videos I'm going to work on. In the meantime, I need everyone to subscribe to my channel. I need people to give me more ideas. I need people to tell me the videos I should be making. I'm going to try something a little bit out of left field today. Not sure how we're going to take it, but it should be a good one, hopefully. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some gum chewing sounds intermittently with some Wrigley's Extra Peppermint. I'm going to get a few of them in. Might add to it as we're going. And I'm going to do something that is something I've always been able to do. I'm going to do some of it is going to be myself. And I might need a line every now and again, but I am going to quote some of my favourite extracts from Shakespeare from memory. Someone or somewhere will find a word I've gotten wrong, though, I'm sure. Don't be that guy. Just leave it. Post in the comments if you recognise the soliloquies, what act and scene, what play. And just to prove I'm doing it from memory. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. I close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature for hard, favoured rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect, let it pry through the portraiture of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth a gold rock o'erhang and jutty its confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth, stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof, fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonour not your mothers, now attest that those who you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there are none of you so mean and base that hath not the noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot, follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry God for Harry, England, and St. George. I don't think I did as many gum chews as I was planning there. So I get a bit carried away when I'm doing that play. I used to be able to do the whole play from memory. Can't do that anymore. Okay. Let's move on. I might need a little bit of help for some of the next ones. What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland. No, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are a now. To do our country loss, and if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honour. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires, but if it be a sin to covet honour, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my cousin. house. Wish not a man from England. God's peace, I would not lose so great an honour as one man more, methinks would share from me for the best hope I have. I do not wish one more, rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. Let his passport shall be made, and crowns for his convoy put in his purse. We would not die in that man's company, that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes home safe will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him on the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on this vigil feast his neighbours, and say, tomorrow is Saint Crispian. And then he will strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Christmas Day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember with advantages what feat he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day until the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhood cheap, whilst any speaks that fought with us on Crispin's day. My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battle set, and will with all expedients charge on us. All things are ready if our minds be so. Perish the man whose mind is backwards now. You know your places. God be with you all. It's going quite well so far, I think. I'm going to change accent a bit. Sorry everyone for my terrible acting skills. Is this a dagger which I see before me? By the way, my mum and dad are Scottish, so I'm allowed to do this accent. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as which I now draw. Thou marshall'st me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or as with all the rest I see thee still, and on thy blade, and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. 9 o'er the one half what nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder alarmed the sentinel the wolf, whose howls is watched thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set, earth, hear not my steps. Which way they walk for fear the very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it, while I threat he lives. words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. Skipping place now. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge breaks to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. And from the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. Next one I do wrong sometimes. Try and do it from my head, but I might need to. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme, no more yielding, but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest puck, if we have unearned luck, now to escape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends. A couple more, I think. Oh, I love this one. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or where me cram within this wooden O the very cask that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest a little place in a million, and let us, ciphers to this greater compt, in your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined 2 mighty monarchies, whose high, upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out your imperfections with your thoughts into 1,000 parts, divide one man, and make imaginary puissance. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them planting their proud hooves in the receiving earth. For it is your thoughts that must now deck our kings. Carry them here and there, jumping o'er times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass for which we supply. Admit me chorus to this history, who prologue like your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play. I think I'll stop boring you now. If you enjoyed that, I can make more of them. I have lots of would finish with it's not in any of the plays that I've done here. I think I've only done 3 plays. Four plays. My favourite line in all of Shakespearean canon is, bonus points if you can comment where this came from, hell is empty and all the devils are here. And obviously I think the amount of monologues I did from one particular play, you're going to know what my favourite Shakespeare play is. Okay guys, give me some feedback, let me know what you thought. I'll see you again on the next voyage upon the seas of the internet. Stay safe guys.